Hi everyone, and welcome to our SOLIDWORKS Add-In webinar. We're excited to talk to you today about the latest update on our new, faster add-ins. My name is Shilpa, and I'm the Marketing Engagement Specialist at Xometry on our marketing team. And I'm excited to introduce the host of today's webinar, Hunter Guerin. Hunter is on the product management team at Xometry, and he focuses specifically on the SOLIDWORKS Add-In and our web coding platform. He has nearly 9 years of experience in CAD, design, analysis, testing, and integration working on electronics hardware and thermal control systems for the aerospace industry. So without further ado, over to Hunter.
Thank you, Shilpa. Happy to be here. And welcome everyone to the live demo of our new, faster SOLIDWORKS add-in. As Shilpa mentioned, I work on our product management team. I specifically focus on the quote page for our web platform, as well as the add-in for SOLIDWORKS. And what I love most about the add-in for SOLIDWORKS is the ability to, for customers to get instant price and lead time feedback while iterating on design, as well as receiving manufacturability feedback live on the model. So we're really excited to bring you these new features. Also, this is a collaborative presentation. We want to hear from you. So if you have any questions during the presentation, throughout the presentation, you can just click on the webinar tab, and there's a question window down at the bottom. If you type those in, we'll get to them at the end of the presentation. So throughout this webinar, we'll do a demo of the add-in, which is the most exciting part of the presentation. We'll also cover our user guide and the easy to follow tutorials within that user guide, which will help customers that have never quoted with us learn more about the capabilities of the add-in, and also help folks that have quoted with us to learn more about the power of the Xometry add-in. Last, we'll cover the online resources that Xometry offers. We have a lot of design guides, FAQs, and a large team dedicated to customer support and helping you get your parts in hand as quickly as possible. And finally, we'll answer the questions that you may have during this demo. So what's new at Xometry? Okay, we have a new, much improved add-in for SOLIDWORKS. It integrates directly within SOLIDWORKS. We support SOLIDWORKS 2018, and it is now connected to our faster rebuilt quoting engine, which makes uploading files and changing between materials and adding features and really specifying that part much faster. We've added the ability to add part marking like engraving or silk screening, bag and tag for shipping to help you identify those parts, or maybe put labels on a connector panel or a logo for your business. We've also added inspection options. We have 4 unique and specific inspection requirements that you can choose from. And we always update the user manual with tutorials on any new feature we add. And so that's a great resource to check out as you are learning about the add-in. So for those that have not downloaded the add-in before, it's very easy. You just go to the Xometry add-in website and download, and then begin the installation, and it will walk you through. And then the next time you open SOLIDWORKS, the Xometry add-in shows up in the add-in task pane on the right side. So again, you can follow this link to the download page, click the download the add-in now, and it will download to wherever your files download, double click, and it'll walk you through the installer. And then again, the next time you open the add-in, it will be live in your task pane. So that actually is the intro into the live demo. So the first time you visit your SOLIDWORKS after you install the add-in, you will see the Xometry X in your add-in task pane. You can click on that. I've actually already logged in, so let me log out just to show that. But this is where you will put in your username and password that you've either already created, or if you haven't created an account, you can click the create account link here, which will take you to our register page, or you can follow the link in the presentation of the webinar. So I will log in. You can open an individual part first. This is a very simple block with a hole. and we'll just add the part to the quote here with this button. Now, this file is being analyzed by our geometry code that is looking for features such as holes, thickness, volume, and really analyzing the geometry of the file, which then feeds into the price so that we can present a price in various manufacturing processes and materials. So much faster quote response here with the new add-in. And so this is the power of the Xometry add-in. You have an instant price and lead time. So this part, $114.89 and a lead time of 3 business days in the quote summary. You'll also notice a quote ID, which is what you can use to reference any communication you have with our support team about this quote. You can expedite an order if the lead time isn't suitable for your project needs. You can generate a PDF of this quote, and then you can delete this quote and start a different one should you need to. We have an errors and warnings section. So I mentioned earlier, we are displaying manufacturability feedback directly on the model. And if you had an issue or if there was a manufacturability concern on our end, this window would pop open and we would show you what issue there might be with this part, which you could then iterate on within SOLIDWORKS and update the quote and ensure that you're going to get the perfect part. So coming down into the part summary, we'll list the file name, the price again, the bounding box dimensions of the part, and then a summary of the process and material that you've chosen. So right now, it is defaulted to a 3D printing process known as fused deposition modeling, or FDM, in our next available polycarbonate, which means we will use the polycarbonate that is in the printer that is most convenient for the technician. So you get a little discount, but there are various other plastics and metal alloys that you can choose from if you have a specific material in mind. So on that note, you would come down to the specifications section. So you land immediately on the material tab. So you can filter by material type, plastic or metal, or leave it on all. You can filter by process. So for this part, I know it's a machine part or CNC, so I can choose CNC, and this is gonna filter down the material selection to all of the materials that we offer in CNC. If there is a material that you're looking for that you don't see on our site, you can choose custom. Although it requires a manual quote, we will work with a lot of materials even if you don't see them in the auto quote function. So let's choose aluminum, and then we can choose the alloy that we require here. This part I know is going to be 6061. And then we can add a material standard here depending on your product needs. So once we have updated the material, we just click update quote, and it instantly updates the price of the part. Now, we can continue on to specify this part by choosing inserts and features, such as threads, specific surface roughness requirements for this part, tolerances, part marking. There are a lot of different ways to personalize this part and make sure that it meets the requirements that you have on your drawing. We offer a lot of different finishes, which you can choose from this list. Assuming this is going to be red anodized, you just choose the finish, update quote, and it continues to update throughout. You'll notice the price is updating and the lead time updates. We've added a finish, which often adds lead time to the part because the part will be post-processed after machining. And then last, we can choose the inspection, drawings, and notes. This is a brand new tab with version 3.0. This is where we can choose custom inspections. So we offer a standard inspection on all machine parts and sheet metal parts, which does not come with inspection documentation, but should your part require an inspection report, you can choose our standard option with dimensional report or our CMM, which is measured on a coordinate measurement machine. Custom inspection can be chosen if there are inspection requirements that you have that are outside of a standard dimensional inspection. If you have a drawing connected with this part, you can search for the drawing by selecting the part from your hardware, or you can auto attach a drawing if you have a drawing that's been created for this part. So if we were to choose the PDF here, it will add the PDF to the quote. And then again, we can add a special note here, such as please bubble wrap before shipping. Update the quote one more time. Now, earlier we had an assembly open. So in order to quote in an assembly, you would need to open one more part of that assembly, which would be the plug. And as soon as you open a new part, your quote still exists, and all you have to do is add a new part to the quote. Again, this is where the geometry comes into play. If you have features that you've specified in the feature design tree, such as threaded holes or insert holes, or even certain tolerances, we will detect those, which I'll show you shortly. So when I uploaded this part, it defaults itself to aluminum 6061 because the other part in this quote was also aluminum 6061. So it knows that that's a high likelihood that you would want this part to also have a to come in aluminum 6061, but of course you can change the material should you need to. Again, coming back to features, this part might be a tight tolerance part because it's a plug insert into the plate we showed earlier. So if you want to add a 3D dimension to this part, let's get that in here a second. Try that one more time. Size dimension. So we can put a 3D dimension here, and we can give this a ±3 tolerance. Notice the add-in realizes that we've made a change to the model, and so we'll need to update the quote. Before it can update, you want to make sure you save it so that we know we're quoting the latest revision of that part. And now again, because we've made a change, it's looking all over the part one more time to make sure that it captures all of the changes that you've already made. And again, look for features such as tolerances, threads, surface roughness, material, etc. So it has detected the tolerance that we just added, so it's automatically applied the tolerance closest to the value. So again, we added a ±3 tolerance in one location. So the add-in automatically sets that. Now, we may also know that we want to engrave this part and give that slip surface a tighter surface roughness. So let's go down to 32 microinches and update the quote one more time, allowing us to further specify requirements for this part for the machinist. Now, since we may want more than one plug here because we have a lot of different uses for this plug, and with machining there is a benefit of economy of scale. So quickly we can change the quantity to see how quantity affects pricing. And we see the price go down from over $100 per part to now $66 per part. So we have added the requirements that we need. Again, so now this is an example of a warning that we've applied a tolerance, so it wants me to upload a drawing. So I'll just upload another drawing here, update the quote, and that message goes away. Now that we have finished the quote specification, we can go to review the quote to see both of the parts that we have in this quote. Again, we've changed the quantity here. Assuming we may want to have more of these plates, we can change the quantity right here in the part review. And if we require any material certs, certificate of conformance or ITAR, those can be added in the quote summary. So let's go ahead and add material certs and certificate of conformance here. And now that we have assigned all the certs and we're ready to go purchase, we may want to send this a copy of this quote to purchasing or to a supervisor. Again, if we look at this part, the quote comes out to 17 business days. If that is not fast enough, we can expedite that order at the to reduce it down with a little bit of added cost. So if we're ready to check out now, the checkout takes us directly to the Xometry checkout website. This is where you can specify your shipping address. You can choose a payment option, a shipping option, whether you pay with a credit card or a purchase order, the billing address, and then a review quote. So you can ensure that all the settings that you applied in the add-in are reflective of the requirements on the part. And then you can apply a credit or promo code here and then accept the conditions and place the order. So going back, if we were to show one more thing here. So I'm going to start a new quote with I'm going to change this face here. Just going to throw a pocket. To the surface here. I'm going to save as, say, block 1. While that updates, going to see, let's say no here. So let's go to change this to CNC aluminum 6061. So I mentioned earlier that we offer DFM feedback or manufacturability feedback. So I threw a square pocket into this part, and automatically our add-in detects that square pocket, and it tells me that there are inaccessible corners in that pocket that are too sharp for a round tool to reach. So in order to fix that, we need to add fillets to these surfaces. So we can do that by accessing the fillet feature, spinning the model. Well, might be too many fillets, but it's okay. And we'll save, update the quote. checking to make sure we have all the features captured here. It looks like it's still finding one because I applied fillets all over. But this is a good example of iterating with the part in this add-in for the best manufacturability on the part. We can also apply threaded holes using the hole wizard to the model, and when you update the quote, the features tab will automatically detect those threads and inserts and apply them to your quote. So that touches all of the highlights of the change. In the last couple of minutes, Xometry offers not just CNC machining, but 3D printing, sheet metal, urethane casting, injection molding. Our goal is to be the one-stop shop for you to go to so that you can quote and buy all parts in an assembly or on your project, regardless of the process. Xometry has been leading in the industry since we started. We are in a large percentage of Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies, especially in the aerospace, technology, automotive, and medical device industries. If you remove financial institutions, our percentage of Fortune 100 and 500 companies goes up significantly. As I mentioned earlier, there is a detailed user guide with, I think now 9 easy to follow tutorials that can show you how all of the things we just did. We can walk you through those again, assigning threaded holes, inserts, etc. And there's even more on the website, YouTube, free downloadable design guides to help you learn more about processes you may not be familiar with, such as FDM or direct metal laser sintering, our metal 3D printing service. We also have a blog with a lot of neat stories and case studies all out there for you to check out. And again, we have a large team of support and engineers, machinists, printers. If you have a question, we would love to hear it and help you out. We are available at 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if you love Xometry like we do, you can share the love and get $50 in custom parts. So if you refer a friend, just go to xometry.com/refer and send it to a colleague or a friend. And if they order, they get $50 off their order, and you get $50 off your next order. Above that, for joining the webinar today, we created a special coupon code, SOLIDWORKS 100, to get $100 off your next order. And this is for webinar attendees only. And you can't combine it with other offers, but this is a great way to get out there and get your parts before June 30th. This expires by June 30th, so try it out today. And last but not least, we're always making changes at Xometry. We're changing our add-in. We're changing our quote platform, and if you're interested in being one of the first to get access to those changed, those updated new features, just shoot me an email, and I'll get you on the list, and you'll be one of the first to see anything we put out new, and sometimes even test it before it goes live to the rest of the customers, because we love customer feedback here. We're always changing, trying to make our products better for you, and so we need to hear from you so we know how to best serve you. In the last few minutes, we'll take a couple of questions here. We have a few that have come in. So what version of SOLIDWORKS is the add-in compatible with? The add-in is compatible starting at 2018, going all the way back to 2012. Someone wants to know how to share a quote in the add-in. Right now on the web platform, you can share a quote with your purchaser if you don't have purchase authority using a little share icon. We don't have that feature in the add-in yet, but if you access your account on the web platform using the same username and password you use to log into the SOLIDWORKS add-in, you can access the quote, finding that quote number in the add-in, and then share it through the web platform. how do I quote other file formats in the add-in? So the SOLIDWORKS add-in only quotes SOLIDWORKS parts files, SLD PRTs. If you open a file in any other format in SOLIDWORKS, you would just need to save that file as a SLD PRT, which SOLIDWORKS does automatically, or you can upload any other file format on the Xometry website if you have an STL for 3D printing, or STEP, or Inventor IPT, or any other CAD format. Can I quote multiple parts in the add-in? So yes, you can. We showed that in the demo. Just keep opening parts and keep adding them to your quote. If you review your quote and click edit on any of the parts, you can go back to any part in your quote that you're currently working on and edit it there. Again, we can't take assemblies yet. It's something we're working on, but you just upload individual files from the assembly. We have time for a few last questions. Please, if you can type them in now, we can get to them. Okay. I can't find it. Where can I download the add-in? Okay, so the link to the add-in can be found in this presentation. Also, if you go to Xometry.com, in the top, there's a resources link. Just click resources, and the SOLIDWORKS add-in is one of the resources there to find. And again, when it downloads, all you have to do is open SOLIDWORKS and it's already installed for you. And okay, the last one, what's the maximum file size I can quote with the add-in? We can quote 300 megabytes max. That's both the add-in and the web platform. So almost any file you can generate. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining the webinar today. I really hope you enjoyed learning more about it. We'll be ironing out a few more kinks to make sure that this installer installs correctly and integrates into SOLIDWORKS without any issues. So be on the lookout for another email from us when this add-in goes live in the next few days, and you can try it out yourself. Again, don't forget to use the SOLIDWORKS 100 promo code to get $100 off your next order. Shoot me an email if you have any other questions or comments or feedback. We'd love to hear from you. My email is hguerin@xometry.com. Again, hguerin@xometry.com. Thank you very much.